When people say they're going to Michael Jackson you, what are they actually referring to? Well, I have a suspicion that what they mean is that all of these attacks are meant to drive me crazy, right? To drive someone crazy, to make threats to their life, to smear their reputation, to libel them, to make them somebody who can't even be hired or work within a certain industry because they have been so forceful in their lies and in their smears. Basically, then to drive that person to a point of anger so that they might tweet something that's angry, that they might tweet something that appears to be irrational to the public so that they can turn around and they can say, told you so. I told you Candace was crazy. I told you she was deranged. I told you she was an anti-Semite. But what's really happening is that you have specific people that are in the Jewish community that won't stop attacking me. They won't stop attacking me. And I think most people, after years of enduring this, would, in fact, be driven crazy. People actually just yesterday, after listening to the full hour and a half discussion between me and Rabbi Barclay, said, Candace, I don't know how you do it. This would drive me crazy. Yeah, add years of that. Headline after headline, smear after smear, and ask what sort of person would still remain this calm. I want to be clear. What is happening is a form of psychological terrorism. What they're doing to me is a form of psychological terrorism. They want me to snap so that I can then prove their point. Actually, my options are two. Either we're going to keep smearing you until you snap, or you can simply comply. And what is the thing that they want me to comply with? I'm not sure. I think I've been pretty rational and I've been pretty level-headed. I don't understand why they have been engaging in this sort of smearing. And this is why I'm terming this merchants of smear, because what they're doing here is they're constantly threatening people behind the scenes, publicly threatening people by smearing their reputations, and they never, ever, ever take a break. This business just keeps going on and on and on and on, and the point is, again, to make me submit. Another example of that, this is rather shocking, I'm not kidding. Yesterday, a journalist, and I'm putting this into quotation marks, despite all of the debunking that I did in that long article, in that long interview with Rabbi Barclay, already was jumping on the next smear. His name is Isaac Shore. He writes for, you guessed it, Mediaite, as well as the New York Post, and he is now publicly calling to have me fired. He's written a lot of articles, by the way, and he talks to a lot of people behind the scenes, telling them not to run any pieces on Candace Owens. Don't talk about Candace Owens. This guy's like, he's doing a real hit job here. And like a total rational journalist, he tweeted, how long will the Daily Wire stand by Candace Owens? No one is asking the Daily Wire to stop Owens from peddling hatred and conspiracy theories. They're just wondering why it's choosing to subsidize such behavior. Yeah, totally a rational thing for a journalist to tweet. He accompanied that with an article by the same title, how long will the Daily Wire stand by Candace Owens? Because as you've seen, I've showed you the whole history. Aren't you convinced yet? They've written so many articles. These psychological terrorists, they've told you 1,000 times anti-Semite, so it must be true. And why would anyone hire and stand by a raging anti-Semite? They've said it so many times, guys. And he wasn't done. He wrote a second headline yesterday published on Mediaite. Maybe, I don't know, just enraged at the fact that I had to sit down and spoke rationally to Rabbi Barclay. I don't know what's driving this, but here's the headline. Candace Owens endorses wild anti-Semitic conspiracy theory about Jews being drunk on Christian blood. That is the headline, you guys. You've been listening to the show. Have you ever heard me endorse a conspiracy theory about Jews being drunk on Christian blood? How sick and how sinister is this getting? How utterly insane this is all getting. It's starting to feel like there's some sort of a bounty on my head, and the person that can convince the public of something that is so ridiculous that I can't come back from is just going to receive a ton of money. And Isaac Shore is really competing for that, because do you want to know where he got that conspiracy theory from? A tweet that I had liked of someone defending me when Rabbi Shmuley was smearing me. He dug up an old tweet of mine that was from February, tried to present it as if it was something new and something that was about him before our back and forth ever even broke out. And so I liked the tweet because it clarified the right date of the tweet, saying that Rabbi Shmuley, this tweet is obviously from February 20th. What are you, drunk on Christian blood? Didn't even pay attention to the last part of the tweet. I just obviously liked that this person was calling out this BS smearing tactic. Little did I know that Isaac Shore and a team of journalists are now monitoring every single like of mine on Twitter to see if they can convince the public that I am advocating for insanity. This is how desperate they have become.